Hey folks, it's Jumping Quills, and welcome back to the next edition of the Weekly Ramble. And well, today's topic is, I'm sure as you can tell by the title, social media. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start with, I guess, my own experience with social media, and that is pretty much none. I have pretty much made it a rule for myself to stay away from social media as much as possible. Um, I think back in high school, like my sophomore or junior year of high school, I created an Instagram account. Um, and I stopped using it after a day. I don't think I made a post like one video on it or something like that. And I logged out of it. I deleted the app off my phone and I stopped using it. And the reason I don't like social media is I, as a person, I don't quite, I don't believe I need people to know what's going on with my life. And I don't want to know what's going on with other people's lives. And it's just kind of tying back to my whole, I'm kind of an introverted person. I really don't care what you're doing as long as you're having fun with it, but I don't need to see it. I have been pressured by my friends, both in high school and my college friends, like get Instagram or get social media just so we can at least, you can, be in the chat and so you can tell what's going on with us. It's like, I don't want to. It's like, it's just always been a thing of me. It's like, in a way, it does kind of make me feel like I'm being left out of a lot of things, and I have been. I don't know a lot of jokes or a lot of the things that they're talking about, or a lot, when we're all in a room, it's like they could say something. I have no idea what's going on because I don't keep up with it. All right, and I don't know why I was like that from an early age. I just never thought I needed to be in social media. I just never cared. It's like I live my life. People need to know don't need to know what I'm doing. I don't need to know what other people are doing. And nowadays, I guess my view of it is kind of changed. It's not so much that anymore. I don't care. I generally do not care if people know what I'm doing, or if what other people are doing. And to me, I just see social media as a place for. It has its good and bads. Artists and other people, companies, they need social media and want to help get their image out there. It's a marketing tactic. It's just smart business from an economical standpoint to have social media. Then there are people who do it for like arts and promoting. They're getting other brand things. Again, economically, that makes sense. If you're an artist and you're using social media, so like Twitter, you have good art, people are going to see it on there, they're going to start following you, then you have more people who are seeing you art, more people are going to retweet it and like it, and you can get more people to notice, you can get more, you can do commissions, and you just become a lot more popular and help yourself out just doing something that you like. And that's the positive of it. People who are sharing awesome stuff, artwork, really cool life experiences. That's fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. I think that's the coolest stuff. And that's the positive I see in social media. Especially like Twitter and that kind of stuff. I don't have any accounts. I have like a Twitter account to follow some artists, because I love their art. I have like a Facebook account, but that's literally, I don't use it. I use it only to read like like the phone games, the mobile games that you have, like, oh, retweet it to like, or, share to Facebook to get like, your tokens or, to fulfill a quest. It's like, or a daily quest. Like, okay, I'll do that. That's about as far as my interaction with social media goes on Facebook. Twitter, again, I'm just looking at people's arts that I love their art style and I follow them. But that's about where the positives end for me. So the neutrals are just, my friends and whatnot, people can be posting about their daily stuff. I don't really care too much about that. We get to the negatives, and this is really what keeps me away from social media and why I just cannot stand it, is people are freaking idiots. I mean, I'm not just, saying, oh, someone's, just doesn't know something. Maybe they, have been taught something wrong. It's like, let's say something, you say, oh, we'll post something. Like, okay, cool, that's forgivable. But then you have people who are genuinely, the nicest way to put it, misguided, or who are just so ignorant and obnoxious to things that it just grinds my gears. And I guess the best way to put it is extremism. This is a whole nother topic for a whole nother week. but you have people who are super set in their way of beliefs, like they will tear you apart. The common way to put it is I think people call them the left, right? That's the, I guess, term that people use. The far left make it so, God, they will try to cancel you for the slightest of infringements, even if you've gone back in the past and made yourself, if you that was in the past, like 5-10 years ago, and you've completely changed, you're a different person, you're a better person, arguably. It's like, holy shit, that's just annoying. It's like, I hate those kinds of people, because people can change for the better, and to go back 10 years later, and a lot of the times they see something, they don't do the research on it, they see something and like, you know what, I'm gonna shoot at that guy for no reason. It's like, come on, you don't even, if you looked into it, sometimes the situation is a whole lot different, and now you look like an idiot for not even correctly doing the research to make sure you are as informed as possible. And then you have idiots, on the far right. There's the same thing. I don't see too much news about them on the internet. They're a whole other thing. I still think they're idiots, especially if they're like Confederacy stuff. That's not fun. But you just have people who, it's just weird. You have these groups of people who refuse to believe in a lot of things, right? Like, that just seem like they should be fundamental things, like flat earthers, flat earthers on social media, anti-vaxxers on social media. It's like, why do you have to exist on this? Like, I don't like the idea of canceling people off of platforms. I think we need to have these people on these social media platforms, because it allows us to see the ridiculousness and what we could possibly come one day if we aren't aware of it. And I think that's a lot of the issue is, we try to take stuff off of social media that, granted, there are some things that should not be on there. And that's just the truth. But there are generally ideas that we have to see in our daily lives to be able to challenge and have a conversation about. Keeping conversations off of platforms, off of social media, is a little ridiculous. Something like that is like, people get called Nazis nowadays. I generally think that people who use the word Nazis don't understand what a Nazi was. They may have like heard the word Nazis, like, oh, you're a Nazi. It's like, okay, well, do you know what the Nazis did? Do you know what that? I'm not defending Nazis. Fuck Nazis, neo-Nazis, anyone who generally acts like them. But then you get called a Nazi for having a slightly different belief. You could be called, a racist or a Nazi for supporting police. It's like, that's a whole nother situation, a whole other thing that I just don't get. Like, there are bad police out there. There's in any group, there's going to be bad apples. It's our job to make sure we get rid of those bad apples, but we can't call an entire group terrible just based off of that. And again, there are exceptions to that. Like, I could go back to the World War II. I could go back to World War II Germany. There were Germans who were generally absolutely horrible people. But then there were also Germans who were doing the right thing. They were trying to help, Jewish people escape, from Germany. They were trying to keep them safe, keep them hidden. And it's like, we can't just say everyone is, like everything else. And a lot of the times when it comes to things I see on social media, it tends to be the vocal minority who tends to just drive me away and just grind my gears. And that's just the truth. I want to say it's the vocal minority. Again, there's exceptions to certain groups, like flat earthers. You can't say there's a flat earther who's like, it's like, I believe in science. Like, I don't believe the earth is flat. It hurts me. If you're a flat earther, I apologize. I respectfully, disagree with your belief and your opinion on how the earth works. It's like, I can't persuade you. It's like, in the end, your belief isn't going to hurt someone. It's not like you're like, oh, you're a flat earther is being like, someone's going to get shot. It's like, it's just a nuisance to some people. It's like, I can live with, if my friend is a flat earther, I'm going to think they're a little off for believing that. But at the end of the day, it's nothing bad. It's just social media. It's just such a weird thing. Cancel culture is probably, I think, the biggest thing. I stay away from it. It's just because, like, then you have fandoms too, and fandoms can be really weird. You have fandoms where, like, you have, again, the artists, the people who respectfully engage in conversation and respect other people's beliefs and opinions, and then you got people will go after someone else. It could be just an individual not even related with the fandom. They could quite literally say, screw this guy, we're going to cancel him, we're going to try to ruin their social life, their personal life, we're trying to get them fired from their jobs, and that kind of stuff. Even if they have not done anything that is wrong, that is illegal, they could just have a bad opinion, or they could just have an opinion about that fandom that no one else agrees with. It's just like, it's a little weird. And that's why I try to stay with them. That's why I try to be non-confrontational. I try to be respectful, but I don't voice a lot of my opinions. And so there's going to come a day where I'm going to have to make an official Twitter or social media page for my YouTube channel. Because I fear someone, trying to, make a Twitter page or a profile that is, using my name, my channel name, and making me say things that aren't true, and people are going to see that and be like, oh god, Jumping Pose is a racist, he wants people to die. It's like, I don't want that for anyone. And so I'm afraid of people trying to, what's the word, mimic me? No, I don't try to steal my identity and use it against me. So if I ever do make a Twitter page or any kind of social media for this channel or for myself in general, it's not going to be to post how I'm doing. Maybe it will be. But it's mainly going to be used for like literal official purposes, business purposes, I should say, to give channel updates, if I won't be able to upload, that kind of stuff, just to make it official. I think that's the best thing for me to do. And who knows, I might make it sometime soon, but I don't think I'm going to try to hold off on it for as long as possible. That's kind of I don't want to sound redundant or kind of repeat myself anymore. I think I've covered most of my personal beliefs and my, I guess, opinions about social media. But I want to know what you folks think about it. I want you folks to have a conversation in the comments, rather to me or to each other. State your own experiences. Say what you think about social media. And all I'm going to ask is, folks, be respectful to each other, right? Don't go after someone for having a bad take. Or you can go after them. The best way to put it is to respectfully do so. Do it so you're having a constructive conversation, a constructive argument, that you're not just calling each other the F words, or not just trying to, say, fuck you, go to hell. Be respectful, but use it to understand and grow as a person, and, possibly challenge your own beliefs. And I want to say most people in this world are reasonable individuals, and I hope that you folks fall into that category. But yeah, with that being said, folks, that's going to end our second little session of the weekly ramble. Next week is going to be something I still haven't decided upon, so be looking out for that. But yeah, with that being said, folks, that's all I have for this one. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more in the future, you know what to do. This has been Jumping Quills, and I'll see you folks in the next one.